The first pillar of brotherhood is faith. How unsurprising. I think many of us have been in those situations where our friendship group haven't exactly been those that we've picked based on their taqwa, based on their nearness to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and their understanding that Allah sees our every move and that we have a soul to take care of. But this is just a claim, right? Is it really that important that we pick brothers and sisters in our close circle that have this underlying faith within them? Well, the objective of this sacred relationship that we want with our dear close friends should fundamentally be faith, should fundamentally be loving Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Why? Because this relationship becomes more long lasting. You connect it to something that is eternal and you help one another try and achieve taqwa, to journey towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now these aren't our explanations, this is our guidance from the Ahlul Bayt alayhim salam. For Amir al-Mu'mineen is reported to have said, "A brother earned in the way of God is the closest of people and more merciful than mothers and fathers." Look at the intimacy of this relationship. He's also reported to say the love between brothers in faith will endure as its purpose is enduring. So we shouldn't base our friendship on materialistic things because these things are finite. And when they're finite, they could potentially lead to differences of ideas, different understandings of situations, and eventually cause divergence amongst our dear friend group, which can cause friction, tension, jealousy, enmity. Let's be honest, we've all experienced it before. Imam al-Baqir alayhi salam is reported to have said, whoever gains a brother in God, one who believes in God and is loyal in brotherhood as a means to seek God's pleasure, will gain a beam of divine light. And the opposite holds as well. If you don't do it based on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you can very quickly find yourself in conflict and in enmity. So we've got to be so careful with who we choose to be of our aqrabeen, of our very, very close ones. And we need to realistically sit down and assess our relationships. From those that we have in our close circle, which of those friendships are truly based on taqwa and the journey towards Allah, or which one of those are based on heedlessness, on vice, on things that could take us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And even on the surface, it may be that you have an awesome chill with them. You get to relax, you get to play FIFA, you get to eat this food, whatever. It may be all glory and dancing, but beneath the surface, we all know that that relationship is probably a little bit surface level, a little bit lame, if we could call it. And more worryingly, sometimes we find ourselves in friendships where actually those very friends that are meant to take us closer to Allah are taking us away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They encourage the evil rather than forbidding it. When salah time comes, they don't care a great deal. When there's something that they shouldn't look at, they encourage you to look at it. When they hear some gossiping, they encourage it and partake. And Amir al-Mu'mineen has warned us about this, where he's reported to say, one who beautifies to you the disobedience of God. This is when he was describing a wicked friend that you may have. And the only outcome of this kind of relationship is regret, is nida. We're going to regret it on Yawm al-Hisab, on the day of judgment, on the day of accounting, where we're going to have to stand up to what we've done. So whilst it may feel fun now, whilst it may be the cool group in the clan, whilst you may be the cool guys at school, uni, or in the office, or even in the community, in the Husayniyah, if that is a group of friends that you know are taking you away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or even worse, you are the one taking them away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we've got to be so careful. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is so clear about this in the Quran. In Surah Al-Furqan, وَيَوْمَ يَعَضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِ اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ السَّبِيلَ. That on the day the wrongdoer will bite on his hands in regret. He'll say, "Oh, I wish I'd taken with the messenger away." The next line, "Oh, woe to me, I wish I'd not taken that one as a friend." And the next line, "He led me away from the remembrance after it had come to me." And ever is the shaitan, to man, a deserter. The Quran is so clear in warning us away from these individuals, to assess who we're around and to make sure we keep the right ones with us. And it's prophetic. It's of enormous benefit for us to do this audit, to keep those of strong faith close to us. It leads to our stability, our peace of mind, and our happiness. And Imam Sadiq is reported to have said, increase your friends in the world, for they are useful in this life and the hereafter. In this life, they'll help fulfill needs. And in the hereafter, the people of the hellfire said, so we have no intercessors nor a true friend. So when in hellfire, remember their friends. We know that we remember our friends. And it's indicative that these people have a role in saving you from the hellfire. So if you've picked the wrong friends and they're unable to save you, then what hope do we have? So this special type of brotherhood, when based on godliness, when based on taqwa, when based on tawheed, when based on qurbatan ilallahi ta'ala, it has such an effect that it even alleviates punishment, because perhaps on that day, they'll be the ones that can take you away from their eternal hellfire. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah wa barakatuh.